zosuntha mzimu ndi Ambuye zikomo. Komanso amayanga ndi Maria. Zende nkukankhana. Tiyeni tonse tikakhale nawo kumwambowu, tigule zimbalezi ndi kupititsa patsogolo mayimbidwe ya mu mpingo, kwinaku tikulandira uthenga wabwino kudzera m'mayimbidwe.
Hi, I've worked with Luntha television now for 2 years. We did 3 short films last year, and we have just finished one today actually. It's about a new programme that I am working on, girls' scholarships in rural schools. The Luntha television team are first class. I would recommend them to anyone who wanted to make a short or a long documentary about their work in Malawi. They are professional, they are friendly, and they are very expert in every aspect of filmmaking, from the script through to the editing. They are an absolute delight to work with. Father David and his team are number one as far as I'm concerned, and they can work in the village or they can work in State House. They are brilliant. So thank you very much, Luntha TV. It's a pleasure working with you, and I look forward to making more films with you.
Tuned into Luntha TV, and it's time for our news bulletin. My name is Tandi Websmara. Let's have a look at our top stories. Pope Francis addresses recent mass murder, prays for peace. Judicial Service Commission commences investigations on Justice Manda. Malawi Energy Regulatory Authority MERA apologizes for failing to meet earlier projected deadline for fuel stability. And in other news, post-election protests in Mozambique leave 10 dead and dozens others injured. We do have the details to these stories and more, to stay with us. At the end of the audience on Wednesday, Pope Francis spoke on the recent Israeli attacks in Gaza and Lebanon, saying that no one wins in war and that everyone loses. The Pope lamented the recent mass murder of 150 people killed in an airstrike on a residential area in Gaza. We have more details in this Vatican News report read by Charity Shilanga.
Emphasizing that war is always a defeat, Pope Francis prayed once again for an end to war around the world. Speaking to the thousands of people in St. Peter's Square, the Pope remembered the countries wracked with violence, the martyred Ukraine, Palestine, Islam, Myanmar, North Kivu, and many countries in war. He reiterated that no one wins with the war and that peace is a gift from the Holy Spirit. The Pope said he saw that 150 innocent people were shot on Tuesday, bemoaning that although children and families have nothing to do with war, they are the first victims. The United Nations recorded 7 mass casualty incidents between October 24th and 29th. Israeli troops attacked a number of homes in the Manara area in the south of the Gaza Strip. 33 people were killed, including 14 children, 6 from the same family. In a series of airstrikes, about 93 Palestinians were killed in a residential building housing displaced people. One of the few hospitals that is still operational was raided by the Israeli army, and the Gaza civil defense sites over 150 people have been trapped inside. Another hospital in the north reported they have run out of medical supplies and food as Israeli troops have halted ambulances and other aid from entering the area. On October 29th, the Palestinian Civil Defense reported 770 people were killed in the last 19 days alone.
Charity Chilanga reading that Vatican News report. Bishop Adrian Chifukwa of Dedza Diocese has asked Catholic Christians to register for the 2025 general elections for them to be accorded the voting rights on September 16th general elections. The bishop was speaking during a Mission Month closing ceremony which took place at St. Joseph Chipwanya Parish in the diocese. Bishop Chifukwa, while expressing happiness with this year's Mission Month, emphasized that Christians are called to ensure great leadership in the country. Therefore, this is the only possible way if they are registered. Bishop Chifukwa also expressed fear that there might be voter apathy in the 2025 general elections. Here is part of what the bishop had to say.
It is misleading to say that we opened this missionary month and then now today we are closing. So it's as if that whatever spirituality that these people were developing during this time, they have to stop it. So what we are saying is whatever experience or animation that these people have experienced, they must continue it. So this launching and closing, they can say, in as far as the vision that they are looking for is concerned.
On his part, National PMS Director Father Peter Madea has expressed satisfaction with how the Mission Month has been successful this year. He said the church is amazed with an unexpected contribution that the Diocese of Dedza has shown. Here is what Father Madea said.
Taught them about the prayer life, also about the missionary work, and also contribution. These are 3 pillars of PMS. We are expecting these Christians to continue preaching these pillars of PMS to the people, taking into consideration the message of the Pope, go and invite everyone to the convent. According to our calendar for PMS, that's national calendar, we are having a national celebration of Epiphany. This is a feast promoted by Holy Childhood in the Diocese of Mangosh, and we are launching on 10th November 2024 this year. And also we are going to celebrate the Pontifical Missionary Union in the Diocese of Chikwawa, and there we are expecting the Diocesan Director there to give us the place and of course the date. We are going to agree with the directors during our council meeting. And then we have Vocation Sunday, that's the feast promoted by the Pontifical Society of St. Peter the Apostle. We are going to hold this national celebration in the Archdiocese of Luntha, and also we are waiting for the season director.
Church dedicated the Mission Month of October to the missionary work, encouraging Catholics to increase their interest in how they participate in serving the Church. Christians are asked to adhere to 3 main pillars, namely prayer, service, and contributing resources aimed at supporting the missionary work. St. Anthony Kachebere Parish Chairperson Cosmas Mwanza stresses that more Christians have been transformed to the level that they can independently spread the gospel through their different capacities. He says the teachings facilitated by the Archdiocesan mission team have been eye-opening on how they should pray, including the Holy Rosary, service to the Church, and contributing generously. Speaking on behalf of the Episcopate, Reverend Father Maxwell Kubarasa, who is Dean of the Ordinary, encouraged the parishioners and all Catholics to keep up the missionary spirit by implementing what they have learned throughout the mission month.
They should know that we have closed the month of October as a missionary month, but it doesn't mean that it's the end of mission. It's the end of prayers for mission. We have opened now prayers for mission everywhere we are. We have opened now prayers of the Rosary, asking for the intercession of the Blessed Virgin Mary for the protection of the Church and for the protection of each individual.
On his part, Archdiocesan Director of the Pontifical Mission Societies, PMS, Reverend Father Geoffrey Chikapa, says he is super delighted looking at how Christians of Kajebere have participated in all Mission Month activities.
All of us, we are missionary people. And as Christians, we have to offer ourselves by committing ourselves in missional activity. One, it's about prayer. We have to pray for the successful operation of these missional activities. And secondly, we have to encourage one another to contribute generously to the church, so that whatever we contribute should be used in terms of these missional activities.
Go and invite everyone to the banquet was the theme that led the October Mission Month and World Mission Sunday celebrations this year.
The Judicial Service Commission has announced commencement of the thorough investigations into corruption allegations against judiciary officers, including Justice Kenan Manda, a High Court Commercial Division judge. A press statement released on Thursday by the Commission's Secretary Irene Chikapa indicates that the investigations will run for 4 weeks. Robert Edward has filed a report read at our studios by Bernard Wanza.
In the press statement, Judiciary Service Commission noted with concern the allegations in the social media by lawyer Alexius Kamangira and has commenced the investigations as a matter of public interest. The cases, which were presided over by the judge in question, Justice Kenan Manda, include Bilderberg Limited and Dr. William Bilderberg versus EcoBank Malawi Limited, and Financial Intelligence Authority, and Mactasia Sugar Milling Limited versus Salima Sugar Corporation, CDH Investment Bank Limited, and Standard Bank, among others. The cases are 4 in total. The Commission, through its Secretary Irene Chikapa, has since called upon the general public to inform them on any information crucial to their investigations regarding those cases. Complaints involving other cases are also welcomed to the Commission, but their investigations may not be within the 4 weeks, as this time frame will be dedicated to the 4 cases mentioned in the press release. Justice Kenan Manda, with other High Court and Supreme Court judges, including some lawyers, have been mentioned in lawyer Kamangra's Facebook posts as corrupt, and that the judiciary is rotten in graft.
The Malawi Electoral Commission (MEC) says it will extend the first phase of the voter registration exercise, which is underway in some parts of the country. In a statement, MEC Chairperson Annabel Mtalimanja says this will be done to address the period when citizen registration services were not available at voter registration centers immediately after the court ruling on national identity cards case on the 25th of October 2024. She said MEC will engage the National Registration Bureau (NRB) to ensure that the citizen registration processes are done as prescribed by the order and directive of the court. This comes barely a day after the Democratic Progressive Party (DPP), UTM, United Democratic Front (UDF), and Alliance for Democracy (AFORD) yesterday gave MEC 14 days to address their concerns, which among others bordered on the need for the electoral body to suspend the first phase of the registration exercise, citing the phase is facing a number of challenges. You're still watching news coming to you live from Bishop Nefi Media Center, and today with me, Tandy Wemsumara. Before we proceed, let's have another look at the headlines. Pope Francis addresses recent mass murder, prays for peace. Judicial Service Commission commences investigations on Justice Manda. Malawi Energy Regulatory Authority MERA apologizes for failing to meet earlier projected deadline for fuel stability. And in other news, post-election protests in Mozambique leave 10 dead and dozens others injured. Proceeding with the news, the Malawi Energy Regulatory Authority MERA has apologized for failure to meet its earlier projected deadline for fuel stability. Addressing the media in Luntha earlier today, MERA Chief Executive Officer Henry Kachaje, who blamed the fuel scarcity mainly on shortage of forex and also huge debts owed to suppliers, declined to commit on when the situation would stabilize. However, he said the situation would stabilize as MERA has settled off a huge chunk of the debt. Meanwhile, the Human Rights Defenders Commission HRDC has urged President Lazarus Chakwera to address the nation regarding the fuel crisis in Malawi. The HRDC has criticized the government's handling of the situation, particularly the Minister of Information's false assurance that fuel supply would normalize by the previous weekend. Phyllis Chizombe has more details in this report.
In a statement signed by HRDC chairperson Gift Tropensi, has urged the government to treat the situation with the urgency it deserves and for President Chakwera to provide clear answers regarding the severity of the situation and when the crisis will end. The HRDC has criticized the Minister of Information for falsely assuring the nation that fuel supply would normalize by the previous weekend, which has proven to be another elephant lie. HRDC has also expressed disappointment in the Sanje Railway, which was inaugurated by President Chakwera months ago and was meant to improve fuel distribution, and it's absurd 2 months after its inaugural, Malawians are facing an even worse fuel shortage. HRDC demands full accountability and immediate utilization of carbon credit funds to resolve the country's worsening fuel shortages, emphasizing the need for transparency and accountability in carbon credit revenue management. HRDC has given President Chakwera 21 days to come up with a plan to resolve the fuel crisis, otherwise they will lead mass demonstrations. The HRDC chairperson Gift Tropensi has called on President Chakwera to fire underperforming ministers and officers and hire people who will help him deliver his agenda.
The High Court in Lilongwe has sentenced Annie Mumba to 53 years in prison for murder effective from the day of her arrest in September 2020. The court described the crime as a calculated act. Judge Nzondi Mvula said that Mumba showed no remorse and refused to admit that she delayed taking her husband to the hospital. Meanwhile, lawyer representing Mumba, wife to the late Professor Mumba, Innocent Kubalo, says he will appeal the ruling at the Supreme Court. Here is part of what Kubalo had to say.
As relates to the conviction, the instructions that we've always had from the date of conviction is that we should appeal against the conviction, because in our opinion and in the client's opinion, we feel it is very unsafe, and it's a judgment which is not consistent with the evidence that was produced in court from both sides. So we feel it's a conviction that must be tested and scrutinized by the Supreme Court for correctness. Yeah, that's our reaction.
The Tobacco Commission of Malawi has officially closed the growers' licensing period for the 2024-2025 farming season as of the 31st of October 2024. The move comes after a remarkable increase in interest in tobacco production this year, with 238.9 million kilograms of tobacco licensed as of the 29th of October 2024, surpassing last year's figure of 215 million kilograms. According to Teleforus Shigwenembe, spokesperson for the commission, the increased interest in tobacco production is a welcome development. Emmanuel